Hello, I'm Gary Maloney for Sacktown Slam, and I'm here to talk to you about Hell in the Cell 2017 from the Detroit, Michigan Little Caesars Arena. Yes, a shitty pizza for a shitty pay-per-view. I unfortunately had a video that I'd already taped, but there was something wrong with it, so I'm having to redo this review. And less than 24 hours later, it still feels the same. Why the fuck did you give the title to Jinder Mahal? Why? Why? So you can just squander Shinsuke Nakamura and have Jinder Mahal lose clean? So you can take a guy that you built up like a champ and make him look like a chump on the main roster? So Michael P.S. Hayes and Road Dogg can sit there and screw over yet another Asian talent? I'm going to be honest. I'm scared as hell for Asuka right now when she makes main roster. I made a joke a few weeks ago about her losing to Emma clean. I honestly believe they'd do that. And the match that he had with Jinder, where Jinder looked sloppy and he looked terrible and his finisher sucks, and it garnered no reaction from the crowd. None. I honestly believe that this is the biggest mistake that WWE's made in some time. I mean, why are you keeping the title on him? Oh, because you're doing a tour of India? Ooh, Kali Ma, we gotta have it on an Indian guy. Fuck that. As far as I'm concerned, you have robbed one of the greatest talents ever. I mean, this guy gave him a Kinshasa, and suddenly he's not going to have the innate ability to realize, oh, he's right next to the ropes. Maybe I should pull him away from the ropes, and then maybe I should, pin him. It's like when somebody hit a Kinshasa, it wouldn't matter. They were done. Now you've taken that move and made him look like a jobber. I mean, remember when Corey Graves used to say, Kinshasa, because that was the end of the fucking match? Not anymore. Not anymore. I honestly, it disgusts me. Just this pay-per-view, it had a lot of twists and turns and it was like waves. Things were great and then disappointing and then great and then disappointing. I honestly, I can't, I don't understand. And I think we're going to have to deal with another 6 months of this asshole being the champion. And don't come to me saying don't hinder Jinder with all this crap. I hate that crowd. Understand that Jinder Mahal has no innate ability to wrestle. Half of his match was rest holds. You're telling me you can't put in a clothesline or two, or a big boot, or an elbow drop, something simple? Like, this guy in NXT had one of the greatest matches ever with, Sami Zayn. And you'll get to Sami Zayn later because he did play a big part in this pay-per-view. But Shinsuke and Sami Zayn had one of the greatest matches ever, as far as I'm concerned, at NXT Dallas. And you're looking at where Shinsuke is at now, like 2 years later. I mean, it's horseshit. It really is. And if I'm Nakamura and my contract's up, I'm going back to New Japan. Why would I want to stay in a company that would have me lose clean to Jinder Mahal? I'm sorry, but the logic is not there. Not for me. And, when it comes to this, there's three things you really have to think about here. Why are you going out of the way to get indie talent just to bury them? It's stupid. Jinder Mahal has no talent. He showcased that tonight. You could hear a pin drop during that match. Swear. I mean, and it bled into the next match, which I feel bad for Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, because I honestly thought that match was alright, but neither match. And that's the thing, the match, the WWE title match being third from the top, which, that's not noticeable. Do you think, WWE, that anyone came today to see Jinder Mahal versus Nakamura? They came to see Nakamura beat Mahal, not Mahal beat Nakamura. Do you think that this clown is selling you tickets? Because if you do, you're retarded. Okay? Understand that this guy is not your saving grace. He's the thorn in your side you're trying to get out. Anyway, I've said my piece on that. Nakamura is one of the best wrestlers in this company. He deserves better, and if this company will not give him better, then he will go elsewhere to find it. Anyway, Hell in a Cell pre-show, and we're at Little Caesars Center. Okay, so the pre-show was Shelton Benjamin versus Chad Gable and the Hype Bros. It was okay. I figured Gable and the Hype Bros were going to go over. And, there's no description here. But really it was a typical, Shelton Benjamin lifting Gable. And he threw Gable onto, I think it was Zack Ryder. Here's the thing, though. Hype Bros didn't break up. And I don't understand why. You didn't see any fight. You didn't see anything. So, I don't know. Maybe on SmackDown. But whatever. Okay. SmackDown Tag Team title Hell in a Cell match. New Day versus Usos. This match, to me, this is why I would give this pay-per-view maybe a 5. This and the end Hell in a Cell match are what sold this pay-per-view. The rest of it, though, it's like, in all honesty, it's like they tried to make a house with the bricks, but they didn't add the cement, so it wasn't earthquake-proof. And a fucking earthquake hit this pay-per-view named Jinder Mahal and basically tore it to shreds. Anyway, both teams grabbed weapons. They were kendo sticks, by the way. And they started brawling to begin the match. Big E with his shoulder block to Jay, but Jimmy caught Big E. Woods hits Jimmy with a forearm shot. Woods punched Jimmy in the face with a chain. He had this, took a steel chain out from under the ring. Big E went for a spear, but Jay moved out of the way, and Big E ate the steel cage. His face just like owie. Anyway, Jimmy hit an outside dive and sent Woods into the steel. And that outside dive, he didn't just hit the steel, he hit the corner of the fucking cage, which that has to hurt. So, okay. Big E speared Jimmy off the apron onto the side of the cage. Woods got up and grabbed Francesca too, which broke as a result. And after he hit Jay, so he started grabbing versions of Francesca and hitting Jay with them. I think he grabbed like a Francesca 2, a 3, and a 4 and just broke them over him. It was a brutal assault. And you saw a brutal assault with kendo sticks on Big E during this match. I mean, this was a very, very interesting match, to say the least. Big E pulled out another trombone and handed it to Woods, who hit Jay with it again. Big E and then they pulled out a cowbell and a gong and started hitting them with them. Anyway, Jimmy hit Jay with a super kick on Big E for a 2. The Usos hit Big E with a kendo stick a few times. The fans chanted for tables. Jay hit a backsplash with a kendo stick, which looked like it fucking hurt, by the way, on Woods, who got laid up on the fence. Big E hit a belly-to-belly to Jimmy, but Jay landed a big right hand on Big E and hit a super kick onto the apron. Big E hit a choke slam, and Woods hit a backbreaker to Jay. Woods hit the top of the rope, and then their tag team finisher, but Jimmy broke it up. Big E choke slams Jay to the floor. Woods grabbed about 5 kendo sticks from him from under the ring and started hitting Jay with it, hitting Jay and pinning him against the fence. Yeah, this is something new I've never seen before. They put Jay Uso up against the side of it, and then they were slanting the kendo sticks through each side and like making a little prison so he couldn't get out. That was awesome, and it was an awesome thing to think of that. It definitely new. And this is actually the first tag team Hell in a Cell match, and it lived up to its mantra. They pinned Jay up against the fence using the sticks. As I said, Big E bounced Jimmy's face off the steel steps, which had to hurt. Jay got off the fence and started hitting Woods and Big E with the sticks. Big E with a forearm shot to Jimmy, but Jimmy fired back with a super kick. Jay lifted up Big E while Jimmy hit a dive through the ropes onto Big E. I mean, that was awesome. When Jay lifted up Big E while Jimmy hit a dive through the ropes. I mean, it was weird looking, but at the same time, it was beautiful. The Usos hit a series of splashes off the top rope. That was their little frog splash thing. They hit it on to Big E for a near fall. The Usos brought out some handcuffs, which is where things get real, and started hitting Woods up with a kendo stick. They left Woods go free from the. They put Xavier Woods onto handcuffs, handcuffed him, and put him on the side of the ring post so he couldn't get out of them. It looked like they'd handcuffed Big E to one of the ropes, but apparently that was not the case. But because Big E went free, Big E tossed Jimmy to the floor with a suplex. Fucking one of the more brutal shots that Jimmy hit. And then he hit a suplex, and then Big E rammed Jimmy into the fence, which had to hurt. Big E hit the big ending on Jimmy for a 2. Jay went for a super kick, but Big E reversed it and locked in a leg submission. Jimmy then went over and super kicked him. After 3 super kicks, the Usos went to the top rope and landed double splashes for a 2 as Woods broke it up. Like, how did he get out from the handcuffs? That's what I want to know. And then the Usos hit Woods with a series of kendo sticks and shots. Woods fights back, but the numbers game got to him. The Usos hit a double splash from the top rope with a chair on top of him for the win. This was easily one of the 2 best matches of the night. I mean, it literally was a great way to start off the pay-per-view. But I'm not sure, I don't know. I mean, and I can't say it any clearer. This whole night was ruined for me because of Durga Mahal and him thinking that everyone on the Raw SmackDown creative team thinking he's so great. This was a great match between the New Day and the Usos. As far as I know, this is the blow-off match. And Talking Smack, they were talking about it in the past tense, their feud with the Usos. So, who is their next opponent? Because obviously, the Fashion Police want to be friends with the Ascension, and all this stupid shit that they're doing with them when they should be in the ring, leads me to believe it's probably Gable and Benjamin. They just need to get a little less green in the ring. Another problem I had, because I was watching this from the WWE Network, is 9 times I had to reset the pay-per-view. I don't know what the fuck happened, but apparently I was not alone with that issue. So, what the fuck? I'm paying my money for this, and what's WWE doing? Nothing, because they don't think $9.99 is enough. Yeah. Anyway. Next match was Randy Orton versus Rusev. I don't even really want to go over this match because it was 10 minutes that was really slowed down the pay-per-view. I mean, I thought it was boring and methodical, though there was one spot in the match where Rusev countered an RKO and turned it into an accolade, and then Orton countered the accolade back into an RKO. It was weird. So, it was not bad. So, yeah, it was Orton tried to go for the second rope DDT, and then it backfired, and Rusev went for an accolade there. and then Orton blocked it for an RKO. Here's my thing, and here's my problem. Where does Rusev go from here? Well, why do I even care if I'm Rusev? Buried. You have been officially promoted to catering. Just like Shinsuke has officially been promoted to fucking catering. Because these guys, these NXT guys, you waste their career. You waste their career. You waste their career. All you are doing is wasting careers of guys who are really fucking talented. Orton didn't need to win here. Mahal didn't need to win. You could extend that feud since he'd get a rematch anyways. I mean, this is ridiculous and stupid booking by WWE. But, you know, that's WWE. Then you had the U.S. title match, which originally was booked to be AJ Styles and Baron Corbin. At the very beginning, I think at the end of the pre-show, something like that, you had Ty Dillinger going up to Daniel Bryan being like, well, I beat Corbin, so that's why I think that I should be in the match. And then you have one guy going 10, and the other guy going, yes! And so they ended up making it a triple threat like everyone wanted it to be. Now, this is my problem. Why is Baron Corbin as slow as molasses in the ring? Like, this guy, I mean, he looked really good at the end of last year, but I feel like he's being held back purposely. Like, this guy is a 3-time Golden Glove boxer, and you're telling me he has to hug people? No, he's not Mayweather. Give me a fucking break. But anyway, the match, the way it was very back and forth. It really was. And I will give credit where credit is due. Everyone got in some nice spots, and you had, I'll start from here. Corbin dropped Styles on the apron, but Styles sent Corbin to the floor with a knee strike. Dillinger sent Styles onto the top rope and hit a back body drop. Dillinger knocked Corbin off the apron and placed Styles on the top rope, but Styles caught him. And knocked him down. Styles knocks him down again, but Dillinger hit a DDT for 2. Dillinger went for a tiebreaker, but it was blocked, and Styles went for a Styles clash, but that was blocked. Styles looked for a calf crusher, but Corbin broke it up, and by dragging Dillinger to the floor, Styles took out Corbin with a springboard forearm shot. Excuse me. This one for finishers. I mean, that made this match pretty special. I mean, and you couldn't have gotten any better looking than it already was. Corbin hit Dillinger with a deep 6, and Styles went for a springboard move, but Corbin caught him with a chokeslam backbreaker, which that looked like it hurt because Styles was favoring his back. And then it was for a near fall. Corbin with a clothesline to Dillinger, and Styles and with a Corbin with a chokeslam to Dillinger and Styles. So it was a double choke slam. This led to Dillinger avoiding it and hit Corbin. Dillinger did the same spot. Dillinger with a super kick to Corbin, and Styles with a kick that sent Dillinger flying onto Corbin for a pin attempt, but Corbin kicked out. Styles, what he's talking about there, he did a Pele kick to Ty Dillinger, and then Ty Dillinger just fell backwards onto Baron Corbin, and it almost was a 3. I really was hoping it would be a 3, but whatever. Styles hit a 450 splash onto Corbin, but Dillinger broke it up. Dillinger picked up Styles, but Styles countered it with a springboard forearm shot. Corbin knocked Styles out of the ring, and this was a nasty kick. I mean, he hit him right in the face, and if you saw him on Talking Smack, he had a little boot print right up on the side of his face right there. It was ugly. And anyway, Corbin knocked Styles out of the ring and then pinned Dillinger for the win. So your new United States champion is Baron Corbin. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing, but it looks like Baron Corbin is not as buried as was originally assumed. So, at least for that, I wanted Ty Dillinger, but, such is life. At least it is off of AJ Styles, and AJ Styles can get that fucking title off Jinder Mahal. Fuck Jinder Mahal. And I'll say it again. Fuck Jinder Mahal. Anyway, women's title match. I'm not really going to go over highlights of this match. It was very athletic. But, Charlotte Flair trying to sell the leg injury, and you're doing a moonsault onto the floor to really get yourself a leg injury. Yeah, whatever. Well, eventually, all the great spot monkey addiction in the world didn't save this match because Natalya just decided to take the coward's way out. Use a chair. Yeah, that's great booking, WWE. Just end it with a chair shot out of nowhere. That makes no sense. Oh, but she's a heel. She can do that. Huh. Give me a break, If she's so technically sound, then give her her deuce. Give her her deuce. Let her win legit. This just seemed like a sloppy end to what was really could have been a great match, which therein makes it a terrible match because of the way it ends. Give me a fucking break. So Flair wins via DQ. I don't know what more I can say about Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. It was what it was. Shitty and terrible booking. And again, Nakamura, fucking, you might as well put him in a buried alive match next against Jinder Mahal. Because he may as well never show up again. Because what's the point? What's the point? I mean, you went out and you got this guy. Triple H got him super over in NXT, and you buried him. Why? Because you're touring India. Ooh, I'm touring India, so we have to have an Indian champion. Yeah, fuck you. The prerogative of WWE and their corporate fucking bullshit it is ruining the company. You're going to let guys that either are on steroids or are genetic freaks run your company. Pretty soon, that's the only thing you're going to have are genetic freaks. Because no one with any real talent or that can go as long as freaking guys like Nakamura can go is going to be real talent. You know, there was an interview with Paul Heyman, and I think he had it right on the money. If Nakamura goes out there and wrestles a Nakamura match, then he won't be a mid-card talent. But if he just does what he's told to do, he will always be mid-card talent. And I feel like that's what's happening with Nakamura. Nakamura is being treated like shit. I think it's time that Nakamura not be treated like shit. I think it's time for a Nakamura heel turn because that would make the character more interesting. And I think it's time for Nakamura to fucking just go on the warpath because obviously Nakamura isn't selling as a face. You can't, you're not allowing him to get over as a face. I mean, Bobby Roode came in as a face, which made about as much sense as anything else on this show. Because Bobby Roode, boy, after the title match, you could hear a fucking pin drop with, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. Like, the crowd just was, like, not into it anymore. And WWE should thank their fucking lucky stars. They had a Hell in a Cell match to close that fucking pay-per-view. Because if they didn't, this pay-per-view was dead on arrival. I mean, after New Day and Usos, the rest of this shit has just awful. I mean, now that I have had a day to think about it, I would probably give this a 5 just because the Hell in a Cell matches were good and they were memorable and epic, and I think everyone's going to be talking about New Day and Usos. But for those idiots that think, oh my god, this is an 8, this is a 9, oh my god, that was the greatest pay-per-view ever. No, I'm sorry. That, to me, does not constitute a good pay-per-view. That constitutes a shitty pay-per-view, which had varying reactions from the crowd. And the crowd was pretty amped up. This was not a dead crowd like No Mercy. But, and I love the way they were shouting at Baron Corbin, "Where's your briefcase?" Because I found that rather hilarious. And so they were at least alive. They were definitely at least alive for this show, but I just don't think that they were alive for the rest of what is happening. I feel like I felt like the show would have been so much better if Nakamura had won. Because then you have that would have been totally awesome. Roode and Ziggler, I felt like it looked sloppy. And, Ziggler and Roode just looked sloppy. And, they got into this spot where they were rolling each other up. Or something like that. And yeah, there was a series of roll-ups, and it just was terrible because one guy was pulling on the other tights, one guy was pulling on the other tights, and then, Rude 1 got the 3 count off of that. Like, really? He's not even going to do the glorious DDT? I mean, that is some stupid shit on WWE's part. Again, that match, dead on arrival. So Rude won, but then afterwards he got, a zigzag. I don't know what that means. I don't know if Ziggler's leaving or not. I don't know if they're extending this feud. We'll have to figure that one out on Tuesday. But to be fair to everything that is happening right now, nothing on SmackDown Live makes sense. It seems like if SmackDown Live keeps going down the road they're going, and they keep Jinder Mahal as the champs, these guys are going to have TNA fucking ratings by the end of the year. I mean, it's going to be bad. And I mean god-awful bad. I don't understand the prerogative of what the fuck these people are thinking. And you took a match which could have been an incredible fucking match, and you put this retarded, I'm gonna smile at the crowd and hug the babies, fucking Bobby Roode, who was about the expensive suits and the Bobby Roode lottery, and I'm gonna whip your ass no matter you're a good guy or a bad guy, I'm gonna do what I have to do to win. And you took a guy like that and you made him look like a schmuck here. He's been fighting jobbers, I swear. If that's all he's going to do is fight jobbers and then, he's not jobbing out, thank God, but he's just fighting jobbers, which is stupid. And I just don't see the point in it. There's nothing to gain here. And I just don't understand why. So, the Falls Count Anywhere Hell in a Cell match between Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. This match pretty much saved the end of the pay-per-view. Now, there was a lot of shit that got attempted at the top of the cell. I'm going to say that right now. And I swear they were trying to get the top of the cell, like there was some kind of gimmick hatch on the top that they were trying to get the fall through, and it never happened. Like they tried a power bomb, they tried the senton from Kevin Owens. They tried a DDT from Shane McMahon. I mean, they were trying everything, and it looked like it was starting to give, but it wouldn't give because this match bled over well into 8 o'clock. So I'm not, but it looked like they had to call an audible when they were climbing down. It really looked like they were, they didn't know what to do. Because they were like, okay, nothing's working, so now what? So they climbed out, and they had Kevin Owens go through the Spanish announce table. Afterwards, you had Shane McMahon come down, put him up on another table, climb all the way up the fucking cage, and this is after having his nuts literally put through the cage or into the cage door by Kevin Owens. I mean, there's a lot of classic spots here. Kevin Owens did a Uranagi with Shane McMahon on the back of the freaking steps like he did to Nakamura. I mean, it was some brutal shit. So... But yeah, this match, it was good, and there was a lot of excitement, especially when they were fighting each other as long as they did on the cage. But what happened last, I think, is what saved the pay-per-view and why I'm giving it a 5. Because it was so much better than No Mercy and way better than SummerSlam, despite Nakamura winning again, or Nakamura losing again. Yeah, Nakamura wins. Oh my God. You're going to see me here, and I will be in a Strong Style t-shirt because I'll have that shit expedited like that day. But for now, I think I'll stick with my Kenny Omega, Dean Ambrose, and freaking AJ Styles stuff. But I'll be honest, I'll be honest, this match, Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, was a great match. But are we done with it? No. You want to know why? Shane McMahon, as I said, was climbing up to the top of the cage. He climbs up to the top, and he fucking goes for the elbow drop. He goes like this, and then goes for the elbow drop, and then somebody pulled Kevin Owens out of the way, and Shane McMahon just fucking collapses onto the table. It turned out it was Sami Zayn that pulled him out of the way. Like, does someone have Stockholm Syndrome? Because I think you do. But then he goes, and before they sit there and drag away Sami Zayn, since it's Falls Count Anywhere, he put Kevin Owens on top of Shane McMahon. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be honest. You weren't doing anything with Sami Zayn. I am very happy you found something for Sami Zayn to do. Sami Zayn was a part of this storyline from the beginning. I'm glad he wasn't just like a one-off kind of thing. So I have no qualms about how this ended. I am sure this is going to bleed into the rest of the winter. Especially the way this ended. I mean, you can't leave us with that kind of a punchline, because that's not a punchline, that's the joke. So, I'll be honest, it would not surprise me, since they have a lack of heel tag teams, if they were packaged together as a tag team. Also, my other question is, you have him set to be on Raw. If he's going to Raw, and Zayn was the one that helped him, what, are you punishing the two of them by splitting them up? Or are you going to send Zayn over to Raw? Because sending Zayn back to Raw doesn't really make all that much sense. Keeping Kevin Owens and packaging them as a tag team and making them these ruthless assholes, that makes a lot of sense. Because Kevin Owens, he's not going to get back to the Universal title. It's going to be like, I'm not done with you yet, Kevin. Nah. No. If you do that, you're going to kill Kevin Owens. Especially after that kind of a performance in a Hell in a Cell match. He deserves to stay on SmackDown. He deserves a shot at the WWE title at this point. I mean, I don't care if it is heel versus heel. Let Kevin Owens win that title. He'll fucking take Tweedledee and Tweedledum and throw him off a 20-foot fucking cage. Fuck those assholes. Fucking Sing Brothers. Yeah, I'll sing you a song. Fuck you. But I'll be honest. It's a 5. It is not above a 5. It was not an above average pay-per-view, but it certainly had its high points and its low points, and unfortunately its low points sort of overtook the high points. I mean, what are you going to do with Nakamura now? Where do you go from here? Where do you go from here with freaking Jinder Mahal? Who's the next guy to job out to Jinder? Since, December 2nd, I think, is when you end the tour. So who's your next victim? What, are you going to have another match with Randy Orton? Is that the case? You going to job out Sami Zayn? Because neither of these things seem favorable. I mean, what's your big plan? To have him hold the title until WrestleMania? For John Cena to just waltz right in and take number 17 just because he's John Cena? I mean, if that happens and that is the case, I'm really going to be upset. I mean, in all honesty, once this India tour is over, please have AJ Styles just take that fucker from him. and then let Jinder win the Royal Rumble. I mean, Shinsuke win the Royal Rumble. Oh, yeah, and for all those people that think Jinder is such a great heel, don't hinder Jinder. Nya, 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 nya. Fuck you, first of all. And second of all, understand that Jinder's not a good heel. Jinder's not even entertaining. Jinder is a terrible in-ring. His in-ring skills. Like, you have to have one or the other to sell. He has neither. He is shitty on the mic. He did nothing but rest holds. This entire time. That entire match, he did rest holds. Why the fuck do I want to see rest holds for a whole match and then see a guy get a 3 count with a sloppy looking finisher like the Colossus, which he couldn't even barely execute? Whereas Nakamura, he got off his freaking, he got off the Kinshasa and it looked great. And I think the fans would have gone nuts for the rest of the pay-per-view. But no, you have to have Jinder win. Fucking fuck you. WWE has got some fucked up logic between Michael Hayes and fucking Road Dogg. And you wonder why you hear these stories about Triple H being pissed off about the talent he's fostering. It's because they're making them useless pieces of shit. I mean, come on. What, is Nakamura going to become the next Finn Balor? Is that what's going to happen? Because if that's what's going to happen, I think I'm going to violently vomit right now. Fucking dumpster fire shit right there. Anyways, it started well and it ended well, but you cannot make a hamburger without the big beef patty. I don't care if you have the lettuce, the tomato, and the cheese. You gotta have that big all beef patty that's just been flame broiled and just tastes good, man. It just like the barbecue sauce or whatever it was filleted with or what have you, seasoned with, fucking just drips and tastes in your mouth. If you don't have that, then you don't really have a payoff, in my opinion. And the last 3 pay-per-views have had a shitty payoff. Actually, more than that, this whole fucking year has been shitty for payoffs. It truly has. And I just don't understand, because other than Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon and New Day Usos, and maybe Sheamus and Cesaro versus fucking the Shield, which was kind of funny because there was a point where during the Fashion Files they were showing the tooth they had a picture of Cesaro with his fucked up teeth, and then it said Tooth Fairy question mark. Kind of some fucked up shit. Obviously, you got to take your jabs when you're a wrestler, but damn, that's some fucked up shit. I don't know what else to say. I mean, other than Jinder Mahal sucks. So, I'm Gary Maloney for Sacktown Slam, and I'll be back for Monday Night Raw. And, hey, looks like I'm out.